Hey guys, this is Dre41 and welcome to another episode of Wrestling Rants and Review. I'm here with my co-host Killerfrost.
Oh.
My goodness, that's his that's his introduction for the show. So
It's Sunday morning, man.
whenever you hear, it's Sunday afternoon. But whenever I introduce him, shout outs to me not being able to say introduce. Whenever I introduce him, he's just gonna say yo because he's high. But
High. I am
Right.
high on life and bad comments from all the people listening.
okay, let's get to that. So, I put up a question on YouTube, and I asked them that I'm gonna start a show where I answer guys' questions as far as any wrestling questions that they might have. And you know what? I should have had this thing pulled up because I'm an idiot and I didn't have it pulled up, but I'm going to pull it up right now. Let me see. Let me see what this guy did. Because I received the question. I received the question from a fan on Twitter. Not a fan. I'm not even gonna say a fan. I'm not even say that. That sounds a little
A viewer.
yeah, a viewer. A viewer. And he said if I had a chance to run WWE, and I'll get his name in a moment, or I'll probably put it in the comment section below. He asked, if I was in control of WWE, what would I do? Number one, I would change it back to the WWF if possible, which is probably impossible at this time. But I would change it to the WWF, and I mean mostly I would keep it the same as far as the brand split. I'll probably keep that the same. I wouldn't change that too much. I will put the belt on people who the people want to see, not who I feel like can be champion. I mean, because if you think about it, like New Day, they sell merchandise. They make the company money. John Cena.
No. Dusty Rhodes said it best, and even you said this to me, so it's kind of weird how you're saying this. But even Dusty Rhodes says the belt doesn't make the man makes the belt. So if they're selling merchandise, even like John Cena,
I'm saying if they sell the merchandise, put a belt on them.
He doesn't need the belt though. He doesn't need the belt. But
No, no, he doesn't. He
need
doesn't.
it.
I know he doesn't. I would put him. I definitely would make him a focus on the show. I mean, it's a 3-hour show. Well, no, he's on SmackDown, so it's a 2-hour show. I'll put some sort of focus on him because he sells merchandise. I'm not just gonna say, oh well, he's a 16-time champ. He doesn't need to be on TV. No, put him on TV. I'm gonna get my money off of him. I'm not just gonna not use him. That wouldn't make any sense. I mean, the New Day, AJ Styles, I'll probably put out better merchandise for him. Because I don't see anything of AJ Styles that I actually like. NXT actually got some nice shirts. I seen a Shinsuke Nakamura one that was nice. But I'm getting off the point. What am I doing? If I had control of the WWE, I would definitely, like I said, change it back to the WWF if possible. I wouldn't go back to the old scratch logo. I mean, I would definitely try to make the logo look like how it does now, just with the F, which would be, I don't know how it would look. That would look a little strange.
Well, but see, you don't want to. WWE, how they're doing it, I don't know. It's, the only reason why I always say about WCW is because obviously they're too lazy to create anything else. Triple H has full control of NXT, and it gets really good, then it gets kind of, then it gets good. But there's always a very small window of where it's not so good. And it just feels like Vince is too old. I wouldn't have Shane create something else. Let him run 2 shows. Let Stephanie do Raw and SmackDown. Because it's just you have too much talent. They're getting hurt because they're not wrestling. And then when they do, they wrestle. And then they do a beat. Like Seth Rollins is hurt again. And it's not a work. So it's like, this guy's going to be done in 2 years. Look at Kenta. I keep
Hideo Itami.
But Tommy, yeah, it sounds like a Nintendo game. He needs to get brought to the main roster because they wrestle so many times in the little thing. They don't get to be used properly, and then so they take chances. Like, hey, I want to get on TV. I want to get more time. So they're going all out. Seth Rollins doesn't need to do it, but he's always going to do it because he's a phenomenal athlete. Samoa Joe is just a monster. He just got to go out there and beat people up and get beat up. He sells himself. He don't even have to. He can just breathe and he'd get to airtime. But it's the point that you have all this other talent not being used, and then when they are used, they get hurt, and then that's why, and they wonder why. I mean, just like back in the, was it early 2000s, late 90s, when like everybody except for fucking Kane got hurt. And you need more shows so that this way they could split up the time they talk. Everybody gets TV time. Everybody gets merchandise selling. If you got people that aren't like Natalia, her stuff's not out there because she wasn't even on. She was on a pre-show. Like come on, man. I mean, you got the women, use them. If you had two separate shows, they'd have more time. They'd be on both of those. Like, okay, say NXT was the next WCW, and that had two shows, and WWE had two shows, and Raw and SmackDown were one thing. Think about it. The women would wrestle on Raw and SmackDown. Storylines would go through more. I say do it like that. Have separate boardroom for both companies, and then what you do is you have separate contracts. If they want to leave whatever said place for WWE or vice versa, then they can do that. And then WWE the competition would be them fighting for their stars and offering them more money.
Well, hold on.
Things.
Let me interrupt one moment. Let me interrupt one moment because I actually was able to find the question. It is from @JoshCook580 on Twitter, and his question was, "What would you change about the current wrestling of today?" And he was asking about WWE. But continue with what you were saying about your ideas.
Well, no, I just because I want more. Like we were discussing the whole British champion. Okay, so what? Okay, so tell me where you're gonna go with this. Are they gonna integrate British wrestlers? Because if so, HT Drake needs a shot. Sorry, I'm gonna keep throwing his name out there. He needs a shot. This guy is the British version of Seth Rollins. Talk shit, has all the stuff, no gimmicks needed, and he's that kind of guy. And his girlfriend, Roxy, dude, I mean, it's right there, a couple. We haven't had power couple wrestlers since Triple H and Stephanie. We need stuff like that. I'm sorry, The Miz and Maurice, Frog Boy and Sexy Girl. I don't know. Miz should be the main. It should be for the title shot all the time because he's been in it long enough. He's earned his stripes. As much as we hate him, he's earned his stripes. He's gotten better in years. And it's like the Miz is like Ric Flair light. They're not using him to his full potential like they should be doing. He should be running with the title, having shots, being a 10-time champ. You need those separate shows. Now, if they bring in a British title, is it only for people from the United Kingdom? It's a separate show? And like you always told me, I don't watch New Japan because I don't want to get vested in these people. Kind of like AJ comes in with the club. Yeah, dude, Luke Gallows is finally getting respect. Yeah. They split him up. It's not the same. That's why. That's why I can't get behind it. I need the different shows. I need them to roll together, do their own things, but have enough time where everybody gets used. Because then I'll buy shirts from both companies, Because people will be getting used more. They'll be getting more shirts. The reason John Cena's got like 25,000 shirts is because he gets a new shirt like every 6 months. He's used all the time. People that aren't, yeah. I mean, how many shirts does Natty have? How many
Probably
shirts
two.
Does,
That's her whole tenure
the
there.
Miz have? I mean,
Miz has a couple.
Like even Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke's gotten better. She's gotten better. She was
God,
you
can't be serious.
Hot. I love Dana Brooke.
You like Dana Brooke because she's attractive. You don't care about how she actually wrestles.
No.
Yes.
No, remember how me and you used to always talk about Joe Hennig? Yeah, Joe Hennig, not Curtis Waxel. And Ted DiBiase's son, Ted DiBiase Jr. When they hit their moves, they hit it with impact. It's like the way they wrestle, and I like that. And I like how she does that. And she's getting better. She has some funny skits with the club and stuff like that. Hell, she should be with the club, not with Charlotte. It's like she's literally being overshadowed by someone who has no shadow. And it's like, I don't know. They need more shows so these people can grow and then go back and forth. Kind of like, remember the WCW War or the Monday Night Wars? Who doesn't love that? That was a great time in wrestling. Even if the show sucked, you still watched it.
But that was a time where they had to literally push each other. They were pushing each other to be better, mainly because it was one company trying to take the other out, sort of. So I mean, you had no choice. But is WWE by themselves? Well, it's not WWE by themselves because if they took other shows as competition, regardless of the size of the company, their wrestling product probably would be better.
No. Their own competition would be within the company of which brand was making more money, and they would get stressed. And like, okay, kind of like these sanctuary cities. You know, Trump says, I'm going to cut your funding and this and this if you criminals. No, 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 no.
Oh,
Do the same thing. Have the
man.
boards. No, no, no. Look, have the boards, have 2 separate boards for each company. Give them a spending limit like the NFL. Certain amount of spending limit they can use. You can get more money if you make more money. See what I'm saying? If you're making more money, your spending limit for more contracts and more people goes up. So this way they're fighting against each other to try to make more than each other. You know, they could keep going back and forth and they keep getting these bonuses and the company itself gets more money to spend on wrestlers. I know that Trump thing was a bad idea, but whatever. It's you know what I'm saying? Kind of like the NFL. Like you have those the salary caps. Have something like that. They could get more and more based off of the amount of money they make. Oh, they're getting more sold out shows. We're going to throw another 30 grand their way, another 100 grand their way. You know, let them get another person, even if it's only for like a couple months. Let them sign a legend wrestler or somebody who just wants to be there for like one feud. You know what I'm saying? They keep them separate. No more Raw of the Night on SmackDown or SmackDown of the Night or Raw Rewind. No more of that shit. Save it only for your own thing. You know what I mean? Because in this way, we can focus. Because if somebody picks one they like, they don't have to keep looking at the other thing. You know, I mean, it's a WWE network. They don't need network TV, even though they still get it. And that's it. Does that not sound like a good idea?
I mean, when you're dealing
Okay.
with a corporate company, when dealing with a corporate company
That's what I'm
itself,
saying.
you can't just say, listen, this is the only amount of money that we're going to give you, because they're not in competition with themselves.
No,
And
no,
they,
no,
never,
no, no,
they
no.
will never look at it that way. It just doesn't make sense for any entity to say we are
No,
in
when-
competition with
when they have their
ourselves when
quarterly
that's
reviews.
not the case. The case is, if it comes down to what are we? What is this company? This company is preceded as this
Perceived.
right, perceived. My bad. Shout outs to me saying it wrong. Perceived as an entertainment company. And with that mindset, they'll never look at it as competition with anybody, even with themselves, because it's not a sport.
Well,
When they start looking at it
they'll
as
see on their network,
wrestling,
they'll see the ratings.
then
They'll see
they'll
the
say,
ratings.
hey, we see this other wrestling out there. We have to be the best at. What I don't understand is, if your company is an entertainment company, why is the biggest show that you guys put on called WrestleMania? You know, like that to me, and maybe this makes sense, maybe it doesn't. But if you don't perceive your company as a wrestling company, why is your biggest show called WrestleMania? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sports entertainment.
I just hate the name sports entertainment. It's professional wrestling. You gotta go to school. You have to be trained to do it.
They do that to save money. They do it to save money.
Well,
That's
yeah,
the
I know.
whole licensing
We
thing.
know about that, but what I'm saying is look at everybody as competition. Look at Ring of Honor as competition. Look at PWG as competition. Look at New Japan as competition. Look at everybody as an opportunity to say,
There
hey,
you go.
we
There
can
you
do
go.
better than
There
them.
you go. But see, there you go. Ring of Honor. Put Ring of Honor on the WWE Network. Let Ring of Honor have their own commercials too. And if Ring of Honor's getting more views than your show, shit, we need to do something. Have a competition, a safe, fruitful competition within your own world. You know what I'm saying? Like, just give them the TV time. And then when they see, oh crap, more people are watching this, well, we better get better. We better start doing this, start doing that. And don't tear them apart. Have a contract where you can't purge their roster. Okay? And then this way, it's like, they could do that. And then maybe they'd get like a TV spot. Maybe they could get time on USA Network, like on a Wednesday or Thursday night. Dude, that
Well,
would
they
be
already
so
got a TV
insanely
deal.
sick. No, I'm talking about one where anybody can watch it anywhere. I don't know, like Pop Network or whatever. Not where you gotta
Well,
like.
no, they
live
got
in
the fight
South
Fight
Dakota.
app. You could watch it on the Fight app for free. So
I don't want to watch it on the app, dude. All right, whatever. Point is, they make money from actual TV station because of because the people that pay for it and because of the advertisers that give them money. That's how they make money. So this way, you'll help them grow as a company and yet have their stuff on TV on your network as well. And then this way, it's like, think about it. They're getting better ratings than us. So that was actually a good idea. They're getting, oh my God, Ring of Honor, their show's getting better ratings than our show. They're not competing against each other, but they're like, shit. That's the goal, is to do better and then just do better. Like, than them, to always compete to try to get the better ratings. And if you don't, then they know when they need to start changing stuff. Did you know that last summer they had soap opera writers writing for them? Really? Soap opera? Oh, I love you, Misty. I love you, John. Oh, don't leave me. Like, really? Those type of people that write that crap are writing for wrestling? No wonder it sucked. Like, come on, man. Like, Freddie Prinze Jr. was there. The time was pretty good. He left. He kind of slagged. They brought him back for a few episodes to write a few stuff. And, you know, you're getting people who actually direct actual movies and shows. But, like, that's what I say. Let them compete within each other in their own world. And then you could get, like, is Shane Douglas his thing? I saw he gave you a shout-out. That was cool as hell. I was like, what? I was so jelly, man. I was at work. I was like, I hate you. You know, well, you saw the response I put. But it's like his Hardcore Heaven or Tommy Dreamer's thing or whatever. Have that on the network. Then, like, that'll give them money to keep their thing going. So this way, you kind of have it, and you can kind of purge them slightly, but without, you know what I'm saying? It's like helping keep the competition alive. But they're what they do and what you do. It's saying, okay, we're not doing good. We can just start doing some of the stuff they're doing, but nobody gets hurt. I mean, how do they not see that? I mean, am I mental? Am I not? Anybody? Like, wouldn't that be great to be able to watch what you want on the one app, on the one channel? It's always there without having to see WWE, you know, because WWE Network's good because it doesn't have commercials, and you're paying for it not to have commercials, you know, and you can fast forward through their commercials. So it's like, most of the time. But you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
I think that would be good. What do you think?
As far as having other companies on the WWE Network, I wouldn't mind
that.
Not
others, just certain.
Well, other companies, certain companies. I mean, it's
well, you
more
know
or
they
less
work
the
with
same
Ring of
thing.
Honor.
Well, yes, but here's my thing. If they're gonna have other companies on there, then I would definitely appreciate it if they promote them. And I mean, like,
Exactly.
you don't gotta sit there and put like a whole 5-minute thing. Just, you know, even a little ticker at the bottom of the screen. Hey, watch Ring of Honor this week.
Let Ring of Honor create their own commercials like WWE does, and then just put it on there. If anything, you're getting Ring of Honor fans to watch to buy your network.
But
so
we're taking this as a complete hypothetical because Vince McMahon would never do this.
Awesome.
This would happen way after
Triple
Vince
H
McMahon dies. So this is we're talking about
So
15, 20
we'll
years
never see it. Okay.
in the future.
We'll never see it. He ain't gonna die. You see him, man? He's a freak.
He'll cryogenically freeze himself and come back 20
but now that he
years
doesn't
from
go to
now.
every single show.
Yeah,
since he's on the road like once or twice a week. Yeah, he's never gonna die.
But as far as what they should do with the network, I wouldn't mind seeing other shows on there if the companies that, you know, run or own parts of like Ring of Honor or whatever the case, if they're okay with, you know, having their product shown on the network,
Free
then
promotion?
yes, by all means, you know what I'm saying? Like, definitely do that, even for not for the pay-per-views, because Ring of Honor has to make their money on pay-per-views and they can't give it up to the network.
Total Divas is on E, and then after a certain amount of time in their reruns, they allow it to go on WWE Network, even though it's WWE property, so that's what they can do. Even though you'll be a little behind, you can still watch it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a week behind maybe. Like after a week's up, you could catch it a week later. I mean, that would still be cool. And then this way, the television network that they're on can use it, and they don't get robbed of viewers. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Or even make like they do with SmackDown and Raw. Do like a 90-minute version of a 2-hour show or a 3-hour show. I mean, that's why I said even with TNA, it's like why destroy wrestling? Doesn't matter what you call it. You're wrestling. You need to be trained to be a wrestler. You know. So it's help keep it alive. Keep the world alive. Keep everything. Give us options. Because then every time you get tired of one thing and you go back. That's why I always say WCW, because they had their own style of everything. WWE tried doing it, shit on it, like just so bad. And if you give it to the right person, they could bring it back, or a different company with the similar ideas. And then you have a whole new thing, like Hog Wild out on the beach, bikers and stuff. It was weird and crazy. I mean, it was something different. And that's what we need. Not different wrestlers, a different look.
Now, see, as far as a different look goes, I think if any show should have that different look, it should be NXT. NXT should be the third big brand, and as far as like those creative entrances go, let NXT do it.
Yeah, but
and
the problem with that is it's a training thing. See, that's what you're forgetting. That's like they used to send people to FCW, OVW, then to FCW, and then he bought it from Danny Davis, and he created his again. And that was their training thing to bring them up, to get you familiar. If it's its own entity, you can't purge its roster then.
Well,
I wouldn't have a problem with, but
yeah,
that's not
that's
something
fine.
they do.
They don't need to purge any roster
Let
because
both
it's its
companies
own third
purge from
bro-
NXT.
it's its own third brand. And then if it is any type of trading going on, it's after WrestleMania where they have the draft and supplemental draft and trades. That's fine. You know, at least 2 or 3 people have to go into the draft.
Oh, you mean that thing? You mean that thing where they go thinking taking us all for idiots, like as if we don't know? They already
No,
know
it's
who's
just
going where.
picks.
Come
It's
on.
just picks. I mean, it's to freshen
But they
things
should
up.
do it
You're not gonna
randomly.
have the same people on, you know what I'm saying, for years. I mean, change it up. You know, make it new.
You want to freshen things up? Literally make the draft random. Not okay now. Well, they know they know.
Well, then
we
that
think we're
goes
stupid,
against
that,
booking.
and then they pick. No, that makes booking like have to do their job. Like randomly, oh shit, he's back there. Oh damn it. Now we gotta think of something else. Make the people do something different. Shake it up to where like wow. Because like now they used to do the random thing, which we knew wasn't random. Now they're like, okay, I'll take him. They already know who's getting who. Do it so random that even they say shit. Okay, we can do this. Why? Well, this guy's coming up
But that
NXT.
goes into a different
Then you
type
could
of conversation where you got to suspend disbelief. I mean, we know in movies the Avengers aren't killing nobody. I mean, come on.
No, they died though in the second one. Remember, lots of people died. But anyway, the NXT people would come up. That's how you could fix it. Okay, you do a complete total random draft. Do it. I would honestly, seriously, do it that Monday after WrestleMania, where it's like, whoa, like you could blow people's minds for the entire weekend, and then it'd be like, wow, now it's all changed. Holy crap, turn the world totally upside down, or even a week later, not like a month or two, and then do it totally random. Let the computer just randomly generate it. You know, just and then in order to fill the rosters to make yourself better, then you could take talent from NXT and bring them up. Because if you think about it, they're putting people in certain places for certain things they already have planned out, and for the type of show that they want. Now, if you have it where it's totally random, okay, now we got to get these guys over. We have no choice. Okay, we're going to bring up Kenta now because we need him up here, and then it forces them to make different moves, and then people could get put. And honestly, it gives wrestlers, superstars, it gives them a chance to show what they have and do whatever. Don't have to worry about a push because they're actually needed. Because they're like, crap, now we have to put him here. We have to this. And then those people may shine and become something awesome. Like even you weren't a fan of Chad Gable. At first you're like, yeah. Dude, the dude's sick. Him and Jason Jordan, I'm just sad because I know the day's going to come they split him up. But, you know what I'm saying? Nobody saw that coming. Right? So that's what I'm saying. Do things where it's like even they're like, that is good. Where, you know, even they get surprised. And in this way, it's not, you know what I'm saying?
I just see it as, you know, they have the shows there already to, you know, to broadcast and to showcase their talent. I really believe that NXT is the future, and even though they do train there, just because they train there doesn't mean they can't be a third brand. You think people on Monday Night Raw don't train in the ring before the show starts?
Well,
I mean,
if you look at it,
it's a stepping stone. We understand that NXT, and they do, but also with that is if you want NXT to be looked as, yo, this is something that you should watch, they have to treat it as such, which that's what they're doing. They're giving us these pay-per-view shows during the Big Four and, you know, sprinkled throughout the year, which is a good thing because they're putting its quality and they're putting interest. Well, of course they do, but then, you know, what wrestling fan is going to watch all of it? You know, I mean, I watch them, but it's like, you know, you got to see like who's going. Like only true fans are going to watch all the NXT.
Yeah, but they wrestle. They put work in on house shows, and NXT they're everywhere all the time. These guys are
That's
tweeting
good.
now. We're over here. Chad Gable just tweeted that he has to like 10 minutes ago or so. Like he goes, oh, before the big game, he had his boots and the title. We got to defend these babies, and he's working on the Super Bowl and this and this. And these guys are working. These women are working. So why not give them more shows so this way when they're on show, it's not a lot of talking, you know, they can wrestle. Let them do a little more talking on the house shows to get their gimmick up. We know people can talk, can't talk. Spend less time with William Regal telling this, blah, 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 and actually have them wrestling. Give them 2 shows and have them doing stuff, or even just do like a house show and record it. I mean, I see some of these arenas, they're pretty terrible. But let's show us how they do it. Show us that this way we get more into them. And like I said, I think a random draft would force them to be like, oh crap, okay, so we got the Revival, which awesome tag team. Love those guys. Brings me back. Wish there was more of them. They come in there. They fight. DIY. Brutal as hell. These guys are crazy. Like, wow. Little guys destroying and awesome. Love it. And then they can put them up, and then they can end up on the same show. Which, you know, they're not going to put them on the same show because they're 2 very good tag teams that could carry any company, literally. So they're going to put them on separate shows. What if they randomly had to put them on one show because all the good tag teams went on the other show? See what I'm saying? So it forces them to do things where we could still see them, where we could still, you know what I mean? And it's like, rather than Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, you know, do it where you put people together because you have to, because the random draft basically bent you over, which makes us laugh like, yeah, you have to because you're getting paid and your network relies on you doing it, or the USA Network, you know, demands you do it. Then it forces you to pull your hand out of your ass and do other things and take chances. Because a lot of these guys aren't going to get a chance. Look at all the guys that didn't get a chance, and look at all the guys now that are still waiting to get a chance. I mean, Baron Corbin takes out Braun Strowman but doesn't win. As much as I don't like Baron Corbin, I would have rather him win if he takes out Braun Strowman. To me, it makes more sense. So it's like, really? You made Braun Strowman look like a wuss for this guy? And then, oh, built up for a future feud. Oh, who cares? No one's going to remember. You know what I'm saying? So if you force their hand where they have to, then like you said, to NXT its own brand, that wouldn't be fair because if Triple H runs that shit, that will run WWE out. Triple H could literally single-handedly destroy WWE. With all the people that he got talked to, all the people that he brought back in, Warrior, you know, he could even bring CM Punk back and talk. He's the one that mends the fences. He's the one that's creating. He can destroy Vince. That's why it'll never happen. So if you're going to keep it as a melting pot for SmackDown and Raw, do SmackDown and Raw, random draft. Just random, but make it random. To where you have to start, and who knows, maybe the most people go to SmackDown, or most of the guys that you would want on SmackDown would have to go to Raw because you need it. And then it also makes their careers longer because it's not all in your head. You're not all creating it. You know what I'm saying? You're forced to do things. It's like they were forced to try to beat WCW, and they put the belt on Mick Foley. Come on, would they have ever done that if they were winning the war? No. And that made Mick Foley a Hall of Famer. Well, that's like the best example. You know? They did. Even Eric Bischoff said it. Oh, you know, and they made Tony Schiavone say Mick Foley won the title. Oh, what a joke! People tuned in, really, and it was like something they never expected, and that turned the tides. Like Tyson turned the tides. See what I'm saying? Things that they didn't think of did. So let that happen. Let it organically do itself. There's so much talent. You're always telling about these guys you make for WWE 2K17. And beyond, like, I don't know these guys, but you know everything about these guys. So you got to think, those guys are going to go through NXT first. Where would they be best suited? Where Vince says, I want them to go? Or where Vince says, shit, we need them to go? You know?
It's always going to go based on the need. I mean, at least that's what I would think. I wouldn't just say, hey, this show's doing great. Let me just add more people and let this other one die out. No. I'm going to send them where I feel like they would help build a brand. Like DIY. I want to see them on SmackDown. I'd rather see them on SmackDown. And the reason why I'd rather see them on SmackDown is I see them as fighters and actual true wrestlers. And I mean, yeah, Raw would be a bigger platform.
Why? Because they're funny. They're always on YouTube, putting these little quick videos. They're smart. They're like a young DX, but it does more things in the ring. They're not big, but they do more. I mean, when they fought each other in the Cruiserweight Classic, man, I needed a nap. That shit was brutal. And, you know, I mean, these guys go out and they could talk on the mic and they could, like, joke around and people love them. They're more of, I guarantee you, I'll bet you $50 they'll be on Raw and Revival will be on SmackDown. But see, if they did a random draft, they might both end up on Raw. Because I'd rather see them versus New Day than the Revival. Revival versus Club, yeah. Well, I would actually put both of them on Raw. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. If you make it random, where you force Vince's hand, as opposed to letting him to decide this. Because me and you are going to be like 90 and 80 years
show and Raw. Yes, Raw has its moments, but I think when you
getting
get
old.
to not even that, but when you get to Raw, you should be polished and you should be a top performer. I think
But see,
SmackDown
right there,
is
you're
like
saying
the
Raw's
secondary.
better. You're saying
No,
Raw's better.
no. What I'm saying is, with Monday Night Raw, you have more time, or you should have more time because it's a 3-hour show. SmackDown, you're not going to be able to have. They could, but the fact of the matter is that on Raw you got 3 hours, which means the matches can go a little bit longer. So polish yourself on SmackDown. Hell, if you're doing good in SmackDown, hell, stay there. But when Raw needs some actual talent, not saying that Raw doesn't have talent, I'm not gonna say that. But when you want to bring some guys on Raw who can throw a wrestling match down, you get them from SmackDown. That's where you're gonna get them from. I mean, let's be honest. When the draft happened, and Dean Ambrose was WWE champion, and he was basically the face of SmackDown. Now listen, hey, Dean Ambrose, his character, the character that he is, just isn't a great wrestler to me, and he's not that entertaining. AJ Styles
That's
is
why Raw and
100
SmackDown
times
should
better.
be one company. They shouldn't split it. They should have a separate company. Then he could kind of go back and forth. And right when you say, "Oh man, it sucks," "Oh, here comes Dean Ambrose," yeah, you get excited to see him. He's so overpushed that you just don't care. I mean, and his interview with Stone Cold, come on, like he was such a dick. Even Stone Cold looked like anybody that hears this, go watch the podcast. You'll Stone Cold is like sitting there scratching his head. You could tell he wants to punch him in the head. He wants to stun his ass right through that table because he was a horrible interview. It's like he doesn't care. He's there. He's like, yeah, I'm passive. Oh. No, you're not. You're a dick. And if I saw him in the face, I'd say that to him. Yeah, I wouldn't care. I'd get in a fight with him. And to me, it's like he's the kind of guy he should be like Roddy Piper. He's funny at times, but not all the time. Roddy Piper was used perfectly in the WWE. He had his own little show, smashed a couple coconuts. Yeah, I mean, he could have been better. He should have had a title. Most underrated wrestler next to Kurt Hennig. But they used him in the right way. He was always there. You never got tired of Piper. Every time you saw Piper, you liked him. You never said, "Oh shit, another one." Ric Flair, you got tired of. Hulk Hogan, we got tired of until he turned evil. Then we loved him. But see, John Cena went evil, that we would love him even more. And that's the whole thing. Dean Ambrose, if they had two shows and he was on both shows, because it was the two separate companies, like you said, NXT versus WWE.
Why does he need to be on
Then,
both shows?
well, no, because WWE would have Raw and SmackDown. They'd have one title for each thing, not titles that look the same, different color, with a slightly different name. You know what I mean? And then this way he could show up on SmackDown, then maybe a couple of Raws, and then maybe not there for a while, then just SmackDowns, and then maybe a Raw or just Raw. You know what I mean? Because then it would be like, Dean Ambrose, cool. Like we're tired of seeing Roman Reigns, getting tired of seeing Kevin Owens. I want to see him wrestle. I don't want to hear him talk. Even Jericho, it's like, okay, dude, we're done. Pepe Le Pew with your weird mustache and whatever. It's like, and I love Jericho, but I'm getting tired of seeing him. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, he's probably gonna be departing soon. So, to me, you need to use wrestlers like that. That's why each thing needs to be its own company with its own shows, both shows. So this way you could get through storylines better, or you could give them a little bit of a break and go to another storyline. And you know what I'm saying? Kind of like Nitro and Thunder did. Like the Wolfpack was, it's like NWO was always on Raw on Nitro. The Wolfpack was usually always on SmackDown, but they were also on Raw. I mean, damn it, they were always on Thunder.
Right.
You know what I'm getting at. So it's like you didn't get really tired of it until it like ran 3 years. Then it was like, okay, this is repetitive. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like the Wyatt family, you're splitting them up. Why? You never really did anything great. There's so much more he could do. I mean, I don't see Luke Harper on his own. What's he gonna wear tights and do something different and cut his hair? No. And then you got Sanity coming up, dude. Wyatt family versus Sanity, a huge bloody feud. It's like, what's it, North versus South or whatever, whatever you call it. Can't think of the name. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got two crazy families fighting. That'd be awesome. But you'll never see it. Bray Wyatt will be a super huge face. It's a championship. And you'll be like, okay, this doesn't feel right.
I don't think he'll ever be a face. I can't really see that happening. But I don't know. As far
He
as
should be used like Stone Cold. He really should.
who,
Really
Bray
should.
Wyatt?
Stone Cold, dude, he's like Raven, and he fights like Stone Cold. And I mean, he legitimately has good matches against anybody, and he's very believable. Great character. I'm glad they took the Ferrari engine out of the tank, and they made Bray Wyatt because it's way better. And he should be used more. He should have had a title by now. He really should have. Little things. You know, he's the one guy who fans love. I mean, come on, everybody holds their phones up. Come on, everybody gets into it. It's not like he comes out and suddenly it's all dark and no one's got a cell phone on. They love him, just like they love Stone Cold. But they know he's never going to amount to it because WWE will always have their foot on him.
I don't know about that.
I don't know, man. I mean, the whole thing with Randy Orton, I don't know. I would have picked somebody else.
Who else could there have been?
To what, win it?
No, to be with Bray Wyatt.
The Miz. Oh, to be with Bray Wyatt? You got Sanity. They can have a huge feud, and then eventually they can integrate, get rid of some people on their own, and then leave the newer people with him, and then he could, because he feels like, to me, he feels like an Arn Anderson, Raven, Stone Cold guy, where he can like help mold these guys, use them in the family, talk, have feuds, work, because he is professional wrestling. His family in his blood. What's his name? What's his name? What's his real name, Dre?
Who, Bray Wyatt?
Yeah, what's his real name?
Oh God, come on. I don't know, but I know his father's
Say
IRS.
Say it. You know.
No, I don't. I don't know what his name is.
Wyndham Rotunda. So, like,
but what does his real name have anything to do with his character now?
Because his family is so embedded into professional wrestling that he's never gonna leave, no matter how bad.
Let's be honest. His dad wasn't a big star at all. Barry Windham wasn't a big star.
That wasn't his dad.
That
was IRS.
Family-wise, I just said IRS wasn't a big star.
That's because he couldn't talk on the mic all that great. He wasn't that great on the mic.
Okay, but he was a mid-card character. Let's be honest.
But it doesn't matter. Kurt Hennig was a mid-card character, and he was one of the best. Literally one of the best. And I mean, who else was a mid-card character that never made it? Really. I mean, Bret Hart was lucky to get up there because they needed him to, and he held the torch. Even mid-card, he was great, and he went back down to that. Even in WCW, he was flip-flop. So he was kind of mid/heavyweight, and I hear he's a real douchebag in life, but whatever. And it's you know what I'm saying? It's some guys can hold both. Like even the Miz, he's a great mid-card guy. Put him in main event, he can handle it. He loves the company. He loves the business. Kurt Angle, he said that he laughed at the WWE. He laughed at the contract. He goes, I'm not going to do this. And they said, come on down, yeah. Like a year later or whatever. Come on down, yeah. Just check it out. And he said he went out there and the cheer he got and this and this. And he goes, I got this rush. And he goes, all right, I'll try it. And he tried it. And he said, and now he says it's the best thing he ever did in his entire life. That's pretty sad. He's had a lot of kids. There he goes. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, my point is, I'm kidding, I'm joking. My point is that, like, some of these people are made or born for it. Bray Wyatt's born for it. So you can use him in so many different ways. But just treat him good. Give him a title. Give him a few a little bit. Sanity comes out. Eric Young is going to keep changing his character. And then, you know, the couple of the guys that are there now, the two big guys that are there, they could be the new version of the Wyatt family. In time. So it's like you can, like, Four Horsemen, you could just keep it rolling. And I'm sure there'll be more people that look like that. Even like Cassius Ohno, if he wants, he could look like he could be in the Wyatt family. That would be a good guy. Come on.
Yeah, but
the Royal Rumble with no surprise entrance was pretty messed up.
Oh God. No, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, it wasn't a bad Royal Rumble. It wasn't. It really wasn't. Now, was it different because they didn't have a surprise entrant? Yeah, it was different, but I think people who have this idea in their mind where it always has to be a special guest, a surprise entrance, It's like, to be honest, the only surprise entrant that they really had, if you want to be honest with it, is Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger was, he was. He's not
They
a
just
part of
wanna see what
SmackDown.
kind of
He's not a
reaction
part
the
of
main
Raw, and
roster
he
would
got
get.
a good reaction. So,
I hate Ty.
oh my goodness, yeah, you hate
I
anybody
think
who
he'd be a good. I
wants
think
to.
he would be a good heel. No, I think he'd be a good heel.
He
I
was,
think it
but
would
he's
be
too
good,
good
so
at being
people
a
hate
heel.
him.
That's when people started cheering him. You think that 10 thing was a face thing a face gimmick that he had?
No, he
No,
thinks he's a 10.
that was a
He felt
heel
like he's a
thing,
5.
and then it went really
Yeah,
like
dude, he doesn't have a great physique, and
what?
he doesn't have a great physique. Like okay, you think 10. When you think 10, you're thinking like a Batista. Like that dude's a monster. He's got the body,
He's
he's got
big
the
as
face,
shit. Like
and
he's
he's
pushing
power.
300. So that's a 10 to you?
Exactly.
Okay, Vince. So what else makes a credible wrestler?
Well, they have to talk on the mic, and Batista got better on the mic by himself. He didn't go.
But we're
He
not
didn't get like that. He
talking
talked in
about
his
Hulk
normal
Hogan.
voice.
We're talking about Ty
And he's
Dillinger, and
good.
Ty Dillinger
That's
could
what
cut
I'm
a
saying.
promo.
That's what I'm saying. He could cut a promo, but like his face makes you want to punch a baby. When he comes out in his
What does
gear, like
Batista's
he's
face
like
make
he's,
you want to do?
No, he looks like a wrestler. He just has
Ty
that face. It
Dillinger
looks
does
like a
not
wrestler.
look
They
like
shaved
a
his head.
wrestler.
No, Ty Dillinger looks like he should be working on a farm with his dad, rustling up some cattle. Sorry. Isn't his dad that one actor? Sam something, whatever.
I don't know.
But but that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, it's funny to do that. It's like having Gilbert or trying to make him sound serious. And it's like I actually saw on one of those wrestling sites, they said that, well, Gilbert never held a title. What are you talking about? He was light heavyweight champion. Like, what? And that's what I'm talking about. Like, with Ty Dillinger, to me, I can see him in a group of people or in a tag team. By himself, not ready yet. Yes, he could cut a promo, but he doesn't have the look. He doesn't have like, and I'm a huge fan of wrestlers having gear. Like even Braun Strowman, they gave him like pants that, he doesn't look like Eric Rowan or the other dude. He doesn't look just plain. He has the pants. He still kind of looks plain, but he has the pants, whatever it looks like, whatever kind, and so he wears a tank top, so it makes him look like a monster from the hills, but not literally like fresh out of a potato sack, Ty Dillinger, it's just I don't know. I mean, I see him more with other people, placating off other people, but on his own, I don't know. Like if he ever beat Bobby Roode for the title, oh, forget it. I don't know.
Well,
even Bobby Roode, if you notice, he's not wrestling like he used to. I know it's WWE style, but come on, man. It's like he's wrestling like the Miz used to wrestle, where he does a few moves, gets beat up for a while, and then comes back and wins. And I'm like, this isn't Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode was dominant, had quick snap moves, his spine buster, this, is that. And now it's just, I don't know. And he was a heel, too, in TNA, and he did that. Oh, go figure.
Well, I mean, that's your opinion, but this show has already went almost 45 minutes, so I guess we'll cut it at there. We had the one question from Twitter, so once we receive some more questions, we'll continue through with this discussion as far as our thoughts and ideas of wrestling today or just the WWE. Once again, I would like to thank my co-host Killerfrost for joining me today, and thank you guys for watching, listening, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys think so I can respond to that, or we can respond to that on the next show. But that's all for today. Catch you guys on the next one.
And you can go to
Oh, go ahead.
Killerfrost13 at Twitter. At Killerfrost13 Twitter.
Twiller?
Yeah, if you have any questions for me, and I could Twiller. Dude, it's Sunday.
Shout outs to him saying Twitter wrong.
Twiller.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching again. At Killerfrost13. Rant on him. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.